not nearly as strong a wind. So the showers ending, skies clearing, temperatures making their way down into the lower 70s as we head toward tomorrow morning. By 8 a.m., 74, lots of sunshine. By noon, 88. So if you're going to get out and try to do some cleaning up, I would suggest early in the morning, because look at that temperature as we head toward 4 o'clock. 92 degrees. We'll check out that weekend forecast, and plus we'll talk about just how high the winds gusted with Dorian, and we'll check out some rainfall totals from the storm as well.
Oh, definitely. We've done.
After this storm, Kate, how are things looking there tonight?
Yeah, Dean and Ashley, we're still feeling some pretty heavy winds as Dorian clears out right now. But tonight we spoke with people who say the hurricane really wasn't so bad. Flooding, property damage, and downed power lines. Just some of the destruction left to clean up downtown in the wake of Dorian. This afternoon, city crews worked to clear floodwaters from the streets, while city resident Liz Guthridge surveyed the damage.
A little bit of broken glass and lots of greenery around, but nothing really extreme, so that's pretty lucky. We're getting out now to kind of see what's going on and get some fresh air.
Over on Colonial Street, the Crudup family had the same idea.
This is Hazel.
That's Hazel. She's lived here for 5 years too.
Tonight, Jeff and Anna Crudup are still dealing with loss of power at home, but the couple agrees Dorian could have been much worse.
Surprised at a lot less water than usual.
We're pretty happy. We think we did pretty well. I mean, there really wasn't much flooding at all, and other than the power going out, it really wasn't too bad.
For City Councilman Mike Seekings, Dorian was an opportunity to learn more about protecting the city from hurricanes in years to come.
And we're not just going to wait for another storm. We got to continue to be vigilant about coming up with solutions for water and water challenges in the Lowcountry.
Now, hurricane damage is still very apparent in some places downtown tonight, but the city cleanup effort picks up again tomorrow. Downtown, I'm Kate Masso, ABC News 4.
All right, Kate, thank you. Tonight, Mayor Tecklenburg asking people to be patient as the city works to clean up hurricane damage over the next few days. And take a look at this. Hurricane Dorian has long passed Charleston, but things in Georgetown County just recently died down. This is what it looked like just a few hours ago.
But developing and new tonight right now, the city is without power, we're told. Stephen Quinn has been there since the beginning of that storm. Stephen, what are you hearing about those outages?
As of right now, no time frame, at least from police who've been patrolling this town, as to when that power might be restored. Some bit of good news that we just observed from the last few minutes as we were out here getting ready to join you all live. A view there of the Rosen Bridge coming over into Georgetown. We were able to see some power crews on their way along Highway 17, and they are certainly a sight for sore eyes for the people here of this community who have been without power since about 3 o'clock this morning. This is what it looked like earlier today as Dorian made its pass close to where we are now, within 40 miles at one point the eye was, and the wind was significant at one point, clocking in the bay at near 80 miles an hour according to the National Weather Service. The storm battered this area with rain all day after the eye passed through. Many people did come out to try to assess the damage, or in the case of a few kids, try to have a little fun after being cooped up in the house all day. Dorian's winds were also strong enough to knock down a few trees and, of course, power lines. But a handful of businesses in Georgetown, like Alma Owens, also had to clear out some water tonight from the storm surge.
We waited it out till about 4 o'clock and came down here just to check and see how things were. And I was really shocked when I walked in because we had water from the front of the salon all the way to the back. So.
And despite the mess that was the inside of her jewelry store, in good spirits, Owens tells me that she hopes to have her business back up and running by Monday. Of course, the question of really here is when those lights will be turning back on. Road crews very busy. Power crews, we've seen them out here. They are going to be very busy. The other issue, of course, this wind right now, even though Dorian is gone, still could cause some havoc for some branches, which, of course, are no friend of power lines. Reporting live here in Georgetown, Stephen Quinn reporting.
Steve, thank you. We will check back in on how things are going there later tomorrow. Back downtown tonight, our Brody Hart was on the east side today. Saw some power lines down. Brody?
Well, finally, Dorian making its way out of our area, but we're still going to be feeling those impacts for a couple days afterwards. Stuff like this. This is a down power line. This is right here on America Street. You can see it doesn't have to be a big tall tree to make an impact. Small tree right there came right off that backyard, busted out a part of that fence there, and is laying across that power line. Now that's appears to be possibly cutting power to some people in this area. This is an issue we've been dealing with all across the low country. We have seen so many down power lines and trees. Just about every area of the low country, pretty much no spot that has not been impacted by a power outage, by downed trees. We've been all over downtown, West Ashley, James Island, all these areas, and everywhere we go, we see the wake of Dorian in our backyards, in our front yards, wherever there's vegetation. We're seeing that Dorian left its impact. The east side of downtown Charleston is not excluded from that tonight. So finally getting a little relief from Dorian, but these impacts, they're going to be felt for at least the next couple days as the cleanup begins. We're downtown on the east side of Charleston tonight. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Brittany, thank you. On Sullivan's Island, the picture was just all too common across the low country. Toppled trees causing major damage. Here's Ann Emerson.
After hours of wind and rain out here on Sullivan's Island from Hurricane Dorian, the houses have taken a pounding as well. Look behind me at this house here. An enormous tree has fallen on the eaves of this rather old historic home of Sullivan's Island. We're just off of Ion, and you know, the amount of rain and wind that we have felt over the last 24 hours has been enormous. And what happens when that wind and rain mix with the saturated ground, you start dealing with very loose roots, and sometimes these trees just can't hold on any longer. All it takes is a major gust of wind for one of these big trees to get knocked down, and you can see right here, look at this, you can actually see the entire root structure of this tree. It has just come straight out of the ground from a super saturated soil, and now that's just gone straight up against the house. It looks like no one is at home right now. We have checked, but this just happened within the last several hours of the storm, so that's really on the tail end of this storm. We were just up here not that long ago, and we did not see this damage. So you can see how these storms, even when you think that the storm is over, these wind gusts come out of nowhere, and they can still take out super saturated tree roots out of the ground. Reporting from Sullivan's Island, I'm Ann Emerson.
All right, certainly been a busy day as well for Somerville Police. They too dealing with downed tree limbs and branches. The police chief says the good news, water was not an issue.
You know, we were really concerned about a lot of flooding happening. We've checked a bunch of areas so far. We don't have any flooding as of yet. Trees down, they're everywhere. I mean, there are. There's no specific area where just one area to stay away from. The truth of the matter is people just need to stay off the streets.
Chief Rogers says a lot of those trees came down early this morning, urging people to stay off the road if possible through the night.
If you've suffered any storm damage in Dorchester County, it does need to be reported. The county is asking people and business owners to complete an online report to find out exactly where the damage happened. You can find the link to that on our website at abcnews4.com.
ABC News 4 storm trackers warned you about those power outages tonight. At last check, Berkeley Electric has reported more than 12,000 outages in Berkeley County, more than 24,000 in Charleston, just about 1,000 in Dorchester County. And yes, those lanes still open on across town.
Dominion has 155,000 spread throughout the Tri-County area, 93,000 in the Charleston area, more than 14,000 in Dorchester, and just about 6,000 in the Berkeley County area.
All right, Dorian brought a lot of scary weather to the low country, even brought tornadoes into parts of the Carolinas. Coming up, we're going to hear from a witness of one of those storms. Stay with us. But first, take a look at this awesome photo sent to us by a viewer. Katie Quinn said it's this video of the photo of the gas station that's in McClellanville. If you have any photos of the storm you'd like to share, head to abcnews4.com/chime in. We're back with more Dorian coverage after this.
109876. Okay, so we're
We're tracking power outages throughout the low country tonight in Berkeley County. Our Angela Brown tracking those outages throughout the area.
Angela joining us live. Angela, can you hear us? Tell us what's happening there. Some technical difficulties with Angela. We will work to get her mic back on and chat with her again soon. Let's go ahead and send things over to our storm tracker meteorologist, Sonia Stevens, with tonight's forecast.
At the ready.
Ready to go?
At the.
We track storms with storm tracker meteorologist Sonia Stevens.
Got to be ready. We were busy tracking Dorian. We are continuing to track Dorian as it moves off toward the north and east. But want to talk about the impacts we had here in the low country. We know we had those strong winds. Here's just how high the wind gusted across parts of the area. So Deweese Island, that wind gusted 92 miles per hour, 86 miles per hour in Winyah Bay. Charleston Harbor saw a wind gust of 80 miles per hour. Wind gusted up to 66 out on Sullivan's Island, 67 out on the edge of America, and 44 mile per hour gust was as far back as Somerville. And the most widespread form of damage that we've seen has been those downed trees, and that has led to power outages for a good chunk of the area. And I know a lot of you still without power this evening. I know those power crews working very quickly to get that power restored. In the meantime, we also had quite a bit of rain, especially up around McClellanville. They clocked in just over 10 inches of rain, just under 9 inches in Mount Pleasant. Cainhoy, 8.62 inches. Daniel Island, 7.17 inches. Charleston International Airport, under 5.5 inches, and then just over 5 inches in Shadow Moss, and that rain is continuing to wrap up so for most of us, these are going to be our final rainfall totals. So we had the saturated ground, then we had the wind, and that's part of why we had so many downed trees. Then the wind by itself did knock out several of those trees as well. We said we were tracking Dorian. Here's the latest, still a Category 2, winds of 100 miles per hour moving off toward the northeast at 13. It has still not made a landfall on the east coast of the United States, believe it or not. It's just been riding very, very close to the coast, made a very close pass to Cape Fear, North Carolina earlier, and now it is headed toward the Outer Banks. That's where it could make a landfall. If it's going to make a landfall anywhere in the United States, that's where it would. Of course, we're hoping it doesn't, but best case scenario is that they get brushed by the west side of the storm like we did. Doubt that it would take more of that turn toward the east. So they're going to continue to feel those impacts. And then Dorian, of course, racing off toward the north and east. As far as our storm reports, look at that, mainly focused along the coast. So these are reports of heavy rain, of tropical storm reports. So that would cover those downed trees and those power outages. Still a little bit of rain across the area, but that's shutting down at this point, really just reserved to eastern Berkeley, Williamsburg, and Georgetown County. And I really think that's going to be wrapping up within the next hour. So still some rain on the backside of the system, but those heavy rain bands still impacting southeastern North Carolina. Spots like Curry Beach, Wrightsville Beach, Wilmington, Oak Island, and then that tornado watch continues for a good chunk of eastern North Carolina. So right now in Charleston, 78 degrees. Winds are out of the west-northwest at 20. So these are sustained winds. So like I was telling you, it's still a little bit breezy out there, but elsewhere across the area, winds much lighter, anywhere between 7 to 9 miles per hour. The exception, Georgetown, those sustained winds at 23 miles per hour. They're seeing a gust up around 28. We've seen a gust up around 26 in Charleston and a gust of 15 in Somerville. Lower numbers expected with our sustained winds and our wind gust as we head through the overnight period. Not sure. Okay, well, at least we lost just that one frame, so that's fine. Dorian moves off toward the north and east. Our rain is shutting off, clouds clearing out, and we're looking at much nicer weather as we head into our Friday, and that high continues to slide off toward the east heading into the weekend. So we are going to see a lot of sunshine, but get ready for some hotter temperatures. So those showers ending off to the north, clearing skies, winds still a little bit breezy out of the northwest, 15 to 25 miles per hour. 71 inland tonight, 75 on the coast. And then for tomorrow, sunny and hot. It will be time to clean up. And we are looking overall at nice weather to do that. Not something we want to do, but something we need to do. Those winds still a little bit breezy out of the northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour, but I'd maybe get out there a little bit sooner because look at how high that temperature is going to climb. 88 on the coast, 92 inland. Here's that extended forecast. We are heating up for the weekend, low to mid 90s for highs. A few more clouds as we head toward next week. A front looks to slowly ease our way, and that's going to result in a little more cloud cover, so some more seasonal temperatures. We're talking upper 80s midweek, and also that chance for isolated thunder showers Wednesday into Thursday.
Now to an update on those reported tornadoes in North Carolina. This is video of some of the aftermath in Emerald Island. The twisters reportedly ripped through this morning. A man who lives in that area spoke about the moments leading up to the twister.
Well, I'm sitting there having coffee and the unit shook a little bit, and then it shook real hard, and that the right wall came tumbling down on top of me.
Tornado watch is still in effect for parts of the Carolinas tonight. All right, some updates for you tonight. South Carolina State will resume classes tomorrow. The university closed at 1 o'clock Thursday to allow students to prepare for that storm. Campus didn't see any major effects, so classes will resume tomorrow.
College of Charleston will not reopen tomorrow. The college has not said, though, when classes will resume, and they do expect, though, to make an announcement tomorrow. Be sure to stay with ABC News 4 on air and online so you stay in the know. State leaders also said it is at the county's discretion to close schools or not. Here in the Lowcountry, Charleston County, Dorchester District 2 and 4, Berkeley County and Colleton County are all closed tomorrow. Some good news for weekend travelers. The Charleston International Airport will open again tomorrow morning.
ABC News 4's Rachel Ellis spoke with airport leaders who say if you have a flight tomorrow morning or tomorrow, you may want to plan ahead.
The Charleston International Airport will reopen tomorrow at 7 a.m. Airport officials say the FAA tower will be in place, but runway access will be limited until further notice. They say travelers should contact their airlines to check in on when flights will start back up in case of any delays or cancellations.
Give themselves enough time to get here, and knowing that it'll probably be some long lines as the services resume. So give yourself enough time to park, to get in and conduct the business, but try to do as much of it in advance as possible.
Pryor says airlines will have to reposition planes back at the airport's terminals and says this can sometimes be a domino effect as airports and airlines get back up and running. This airport will be full once again tomorrow with people coming in and out of the Lowcountry. For now, I'm Rachel Ellis, and I'll send it back to you.
All right, Rachel, thank you. Trident Medical Center, they stayed open through the storm. Hospital officials say the ER was very busy today. That hospital reports its medical staff cared for more than 500 patients since yesterday, and the hospital, good news, did not have any damages from the storm.
Take a look at this picture one of our viewers sent us. Maddie Valderi sent us this scary picture from the town of Somerville showing a car that had a tree fall on it during the storm. If you have photos you'd like to share with us from the storm, go to abcnews4.com/chime in. We'll be right back.
dominating the headlines for more than a week now. Its most devastating impact, of course, the Bahamas. Much of Florida was spared.
Today, as Dorian moves north now along the eastern seaboard, it's now the Carolinas suffering the brunt of the wrath. Megan Norwood with the latest from Wilmington, North Carolina.
Hurricane Dorian scraping the Carolina coastline. The powerful storm lashing the southeast with massive waves and torrential downpours, hurling more than a dozen tornadoes.
Holy crap.
Ripping these mobile homes to shreds. More than 240,000 homes and businesses without power across South Carolina. Coastal communities under mandatory evacuations. North Carolina's governor urging people to get out.
Get to safety and stay there. Don't let your guard down. The eye of the storm will be close enough to cause extensive damage in North Carolina.
Businesses boarding up, taking no chances as the same storm that battered the Bahamas, yet somehow sparing Florida, flooding parts of Charleston, including the historic downtown.
Stay off the streets. It's very dangerous.
In Virginia, the military making preparations, sending their canines further north to wait out the storm. Meanwhile, thousands in the Bahamas facing total devastation, waiting for relief and beginning the long road to recovery.
Our response will be day and night, day after day, week after week, month after month, until the lives of our people return to some degree of normalcy.
Here in North Carolina, many areas still under a flash flood watch and warnings. This storm serving as a deja vu because this area is still recovering from Hurricane Florence that hit less than a year ago. I'm Morgan Norwood, ABC News in Wilmington, North Carolina.
All right, we want to show you this picture from a viewer. Michelle Henderlong sent it to us from County Line Road in Ravenel, showing a tree that fell right onto the power line right off that road. If you have any photos of the storm you'd like to share, once again, you can head to abcnews4.com/chime in. Finally tonight, out of all the anxiety, there's some relief. Hurricane Dorian apparently responsible for a number of births in the state of Florida. Orange Park Medical Center near Jacksonville reported 6 births as Dorian passed through. Staff gave each baby a hurricane-themed onesie to mark their arrival.
Those are awesome.
All right, it happens during every hurricane. Authorities warn people not to leave their homes, and a handful of people can't resist doing so. I know you've seen this video, right? This Jeep stuck in the surf. But here's the backstory. Apparently, the owner of the Jeep let his best friend, right? His cousin who had a motorcycle, so he let him borrow his Jeep. And so the cousin decided to drive the Jeep, get close down to the beach.
Take a picture.
And how did it go?
He got stuck.
And then what happened?
He got scared, didn't call his cousin back to tell him what happened. And the police showed up at the owner's house
and said, what?
We found your Jeep. It's on the beach. What is going on?
And then what did the cousin say? Remember, he was like really
scared. What did he say?
He said he was scared to tell his cousin that he drove his beach into the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh my goodness. So that's the backstory to that famous video now. It's gone viral, really.
We do remain sensitive to the tragedy of the storm. But at the end of it all for us, a little levity on this night.
Much better tomorrow, though.
Yes, honey. Getting hot. We're going to see those 90s the next couple of days. Yeah. Get out and clean up. Got the sweat rag with you.
Friday. It's Friday.
Where's that piece of paper?